Your body is a mirror of the effort you invest in it, and every decision you make becomes a message sent directly to your internal system, reminding it either of growth or neglect. When you commit to training your body, when you move with intention, breathe with discipline, and strengthen with consistency, your physical condition listens and responds. Nothing changes overnight, but everything begins the moment you decide to show up for yourself. Your performance, your stamina, your confidence, all of it is shaped by repetition, by practice, by willingness to act, even when motivation is low. A weak muscle does not mean failure. It means opportunity. It means room to build power where power is needed. You are not defeated by struggle. You are invited by it, called to level up and reclaim the authority over your own body. Your habits speak louder than excuses. Your actions speak louder than doubt, and your persistence speaks louder than fear. When you train consistently, your circulation improves, your nerves respond better, your strength begins to rebuild, and you start to see yourself differently in the mirror. No man is powerless when he decides to rise, because effort turns into progress, progress turns into confidence, and confidence turns into performance that comes from within, not by chance. You don't go to the gym to prove strength, you go to develop it, and the same truth applies here. Training is not a sign of weakness. It is evidence of self-belief. When you practice exercises that improve blood flow, support muscle activation, and enhance endurance, you are telling your body, wake up, I am ready to work. The body responds to what you consistently demand from it, and if you demand power, it begins to build power one day at a time. You don't need perfection. You only need to begin, because beginnings create momentum, and momentum transforms ability into achievement. Every step you take towards strengthening your body is a declaration of self-respect, a statement that you refuse to surrender to limitation. Growth is not a straight path. It is an upward climb built on discipline, patience, and self-awareness. You are capable of more than you have allowed yourself to believe, and effort is the evidence that unlocks that potential. Strength is not just physical, it is mental, emotional, and rooted in the decision to keep showing up even when results are slow. You hold the power to shape your future, and that power comes alive when you train your body with purpose, direction, and determination. What you practice, you improve, and what you improve becomes part of who you are. Your body is waiting for leadership, waiting for instruction, waiting for you to step forward as the commander of your physical health. When you think of training as not just exercise, but as communication with your nervous system and your sense of masculinity, everything changes. You aren't just building muscle or improving blood flow, you are rebuilding identity, rebuilding confidence, rebuilding pride. The body adapts when challenged, grows when stressed, strengthens when trained, but only in response to consistent effort. You cannot expect change without commitment, and you cannot expect power without practice, because everything powerful in nature is built over time, not granted instantly. Doubt may whisper that improvement is impossible, but doubt is quieted by evidence, and evidence is created through work. Improvement is not something you wish for, it is something you train for, sweat for, repeat for, until your body begins to reflect the discipline you've given it. Every repetition is a vote cast in favor of strength. Every session is proof that you refuse to settle for decline. Your body remembers effort, and effort becomes transformation, because movement is medicine, energy is fuel, and discipline is the architect of physical confidence. When you choose effort, you choose evolution. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Growth is born in pressure, in effort, in the willingness to train, even when the results are not yet visible. You must think long-term, not moment to moment, because lasting strength is built brick by brick, habit by habit, decision by decision. You don't train today for today. You train today so that tomorrow is stronger, clearer, more controlled, more powerful. Your body is not your enemy. It is your ally waiting to be activated through consistent training, healthy lifestyle adjustments, and commitment to improvement. Every time you show up, you send a message to your system saying, I'm investing in you and I expect growth in return. That signal awakens circulation, activates muscle fibers, improves responsiveness, and enhances physical vitality over time. When you move, you improve. When you stagnate, you weaken. So movement is not optional. It is essential for progress. You are the architect of your physical performance, and the blueprint you choose determines the structure you build. If you choose discipline, you build strength. If you choose avoidance, you build weakness. And it all starts with what you decide today. Your body has the ability to evolve, adapt, and recover when given effort, attention, and intention. Strength begins with self-respect, and self-respect begins with the decision to no longer shrink from challenges, but to stand up and face them with courage, presence, and discipline. When a man doubts himself, his body follows, but when he honors his body through action and commitment, it begins to rise with him and serve him better. Erectile difficulty is not a sentence, it is a signal, a wake-up call inviting you to reconnect with your health, your habits, and your inner confidence. You are not defined by setbacks, you are defined by the way you respond to them, and choosing effort is choosing self-worth in its strongest form. Respect is shown through what you're willing to do consistently, not what you intend to do someday, because intention is thought, but discipline is action. Every stretch, every breath, every strengthening practice is a message to yourself saying, I deserve to function well. I deserve to feel confident. I deserve to feel alive. When you train your body, you aren't just improving circulation or vitality. You're building identity, showing that you value yourself enough to work for improvement. A man who respects himself cares for his body as an asset, not a burden, because he knows strength is built, not inherited, and presence is earned through practice. This journey isn't just physical, it's deeply personal, a reflection of how much you are willing to invest in yourself and your future. The moment you choose discipline over avoidance, you begin a transformation that cannot be taken from you. You cannot shame yourself into strength, but you can train yourself into confidence, because growth is born from dedication, not embarrassment or fear. Self-respect means treating your body like something worth improving, worth developing, worth empowering, not something to abandon at the first sign of difficulty. Each time you choose exercise over excuses, you rewrite the story you live in. A story that says you are capable, resilient, and worthy of physical strength and internal peace. Doubt may try to convince you that progress is slow, but slow progress is infinitely better than no progress, and self-respect is measured in consistency, not speed. You do not need to be perfect to improve. You only need to be committed enough to begin and brave enough to continue. When you train your body, you are rebuilding not just function, but identity. The identity of a man who stands up when life knocks him down, who adjusts his habits instead of surrendering to decline. Respecting yourself means fueling your body well, resting when needed, moving daily, and choosing habits that support strength rather than drain it. A man who honors himself does not wait for motivation to appear. He creates motivation with repeated action and patience with himself. Through effort, your mind becomes clearer, your confidence stronger, your presence more grounded, because your body begins to align with the respect you give it. This alignment is not a gift. It is a result, earned through choices, discipline, and willingness to grow. Self-respect doesn't happen in a moment. It develops through repeated proof, and proof is created through effort you can look back on proudly. When you commit to strengthening your body, you may not see transformation immediately, but you will feel a shift inside, a spark, a certainty, a sense of ownership over your health and identity. You begin to realize that improvement is possible, that strength is trainable, that performance is influenced by effort, and that your best days are not behind you, but ahead. Your body responds to nourishment, movement, hydration, sleep, breath work, mental peace. Every choice you make becomes material for the future you are building. When you respect yourself, you stop seeking shortcuts and start seeking strength, because strength feels better than avoidance. Progress feels better than regret. You may stumble, you may struggle, you may have days of doubt, but doubt is not defeat. It is simply part of the climb, and the climb is where character is built. A respected body is a trained body, a supported body, a disciplined body, one that receives effort, care, and patience rather than frustration or shame. You learn to listen to your body instead of criticize it, work with it instead of against it, and nurture it instead of ignoring it. In that shift, in that daily discipline, in that commitment to growth, something powerful awakens, a sense of masculine energy rooted in effort, not ego. You begin to understand that self-respect is the foundation of strength, and strength is the expression of respect made visible through action. You are not weak for wanting improvement. You are strong for pursuing it, because the pursuit itself is a declaration of worth. When a man decides he is worthy of power, he trains for it. When he believes he deserves vitality, he builds it with consistency. When he values his body, he proves it with daily action. Respecting yourself means showing your body that it matters enough to invest in. An investment requires time, patience, and effort that cannot be imitated or replaced. A man who respects himself doesn't wait for change. He creates it through discipline, through movement, through the refusal to give up when progress feels slow. Every stretch, every breath, every strengthening exercise is a statement. I value myself enough to work for improvement. With each session, your confidence grows not because results are instant, but because action builds identity. Identity builds belief. Belief builds strength. You are taking control of your body instead of letting your body control you, and that power is life-changing, deeply personal, and undeniably earned. Self-respect is not loud, it is not boastful, it is quiet discipline, steady practice, daily commitment to growth. When you respect your body responds, and you begin to feel more present, more connected, more powerful, because strength rises from the inside out. Small daily actions build big results because lasting change never arrives in one giant leap. It is built through repetition, commitment, and the courage to show up again and again. You don't transform your strength by wishing for it. You grow it by working for it. Even on days when motivation whispers that you should wait. 5 minutes today is better than an hour someday because small actions done consistently create momentum, routine, and progress you can feel. Every time you exercise, every time you stretch, every time you breathe deeply and intentionally, you are writing a new chapter of your capability. You are teaching your nervous system to respond better, your circulation to move more efficiently, your muscles to awaken instead of remain passive. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be done. Because perfection is a trap, but consistency is a force. One effort becomes two become 10 become a habit, and habits are what shape strength. Growth is like a flame that starts small but grows bigger with each breath of effort you give it. You don't wait for results. You generate them gradually through the simple decision to keep going when quitting is easier. Progress looks small while you're standing in it. But when you look back after weeks of daily effort, the improvement is undeniable. You begin to feel more in control of your body, more connected to your masculinity, and more confident in what your physical system can do. A routine of 5 minutes today becomes 8 minutes tomorrow, 10 minutes next week, and 20 before you even realize how far you've come. The compound effect of small effort is powerful. It builds muscle memory, strengthens discipline, and rewires belief from doubt to capability. Repetition is the engine of improvement because the body adapts to what you repeatedly demand from it. If you demand weakness, you receive it. If you demand strength, your body responds by building it. You don't need intensity to win. You need consistency, the slow but unstoppable force that turns small exercises into lasting transformation. Each session is an investment, each repetition a deposit into your future strength, each breath a reminder that you are moving forward. Discipline becomes momentum. Momentum becomes progress. Progress becomes confidence that cannot be shaken. You may not feel powerful after day one, but power is not granted. It is accumulated through effort that compounds over time. What you practice, you improve, even if progress feels invisible in the moment. A man who chooses small daily action is a man who chooses evolution instead of stagnation, strength instead of surrender. Improvement does not require dramatic change. It requires gentle persistence, repeated signals to the body that growth is expected. One stretch strengthens mobility. One exercise improves blood flow. One session builds endurance that carries into the next. Tiny steps done daily beat massive effort done rarely because the body thrives on routine, rhythm, and incremental challenge. Think of a seed. It does not break the soil in one day, but given water and light consistently, it becomes a tree capable of standing through storms. Your transformation follows the same law. Small effort nourished daily becomes unshakable strength. A man who trains with patience becomes a man who performs with confidence. You must see daily practice not as a chore, but as a promise to yourself, to your future, to your inner potential that refuses to settle for average. You don't train only for today's benefit. You train so that tomorrow is stronger, fuller, more energized, more controlled. 5 minutes of daily action builds focus, discipline, and neurological responsiveness that sporadic effort can never produce. Each day you show up, you reinforce the message that you are capable, that you are improving, that your health is in your hands. Habits are created through repetition, and repetition builds identity. Identity builds belief, and belief fuels performance. The man you become is shaped by the small choices you make when no one is watching, when progress feels slow, when excuses seem louder than effort. Growth is not an explosion. It is a rising, a gradual climb from struggle to strength, one practice session at a time. Your body adapts to what you teach it, and when you teach it discipline daily, it answers with power, stamina, and function that reflects your commitment. Small actions become transformation when repeated long enough with patience, intention, and inner fire. You are not broken, you are untrained, and untrained does not mean powerless. Every man carries the capacity to reclaim strength, performance, and vitality, but it begins with the recognition that growth requires deliberate effort. Life does not hand improvement to those who wait. It rewards those who decide to act, who take responsibility, who refuse to accept limitation as permanent. Your body is capable of change, your mind capable of focus, and your determination capable of forging a new reality. Untrained simply means that potential has not yet been unlocked, and every repetition, every session, every moment of intention is the key to that unlock. You have been given a system designed to respond, to adapt, to improve when guided correctly and consistently. Shame and fear are distractions, but effort is truth, and truth is what transforms weakness into strength. When you see yourself as untrained rather than broken, you shift from despair to possibility. That shift alone is the spark that ignites transformation. Your sexual health, like any other part of your body, thrives on discipline, stimulation, and consistent attention. You cannot expect strength without practice, function without effort, or confidence without action. Every neglected day is a missed opportunity, but every intentional day is a step closer to power restored. The body responds to what it is taught, and when you teach it through controlled, focused exercises, through awareness of circulation, flexibility, and endurance, it adapts and strengthens. You are not failing, you are simply learning the path to improvement through action. Each session, each repetition, each small habit contributes to a larger foundation of performance and resilience. Untrained muscles, untrained systems, untrained focus, all of it can change when met with consistent, purposeful effort. Strength is not inherited, it is built, and every man capable of effort is capable of building it. The decision to train is the decision to reclaim control over your own body and destiny. Transformation begins in the mind long before it appears in the body because belief fuels effort, and effort fuels results. When you convince yourself that you are untrained rather than broken, you remove shame from the equation and replace it with empowerment. You begin to see opportunity instead of limitation, potential instead of failure. Every session you commit to is proof that you value yourself enough to act on your behalf, that you are willing to invest time and energy into becoming stronger, healthier, and more capable. This is not vanity. This is stewardship of the vessel you live in. You train not for anyone else, but for the respect, confidence, and capability that comes from taking ownership of your physical state. Each repetition is a declaration of self-responsibility, each exercise a statement of intent that you will not settle for stagnation. The untrained man transforms when he chooses effort over excuses, discipline over comfort, progress over complacency. Power is cultivated, not granted, and recognition of untrained status is the first step toward reclaiming it. Awareness becomes action, and action becomes measurable improvement over time. Progress is found in consistency, in the accumulation of small victories that compound into profound change. You may not feel the difference immediately, but each intentional effort strengthens not just your muscles, but your mindset, your energy, and your confidence. Training is a conversation with your body. The more you speak its language through repeated practice, the more it responds in alignment with your intent. You are capable of rewiring systems that were neglected, of rebuilding strength that was unused, and of reclaiming function that felt lost. Every man has an internal reserve of resilience, waiting to be tapped through repeated action, disciplined practice, and patient persistence. Failure is not permanent, it is simply the absence of training, and every choice to act is a choice to rewrite what is possible. By embracing your untrained state as temporary, you open the door to intentional growth and measurable improvement. Energy, circulation, endurance, and confidence all respond to the messages you send through disciplined effort. You are not limited by what has happened. You are empowered by what you are willing to do now. Every effort, no matter how small, communicates a powerful truth. You refuse to settle for less than your potential. When a man trains, he trains both body and belief becomes the engine driving consistent, measurable results. Untrained does not mean weak. It means that strength is within reach, waiting for attention, practice, and intention. Small actions, repeated daily, compound into habits that transform performance, stamina, and self-perception. You must see training as an opportunity, not a punishment, as a challenge, not a condemnation. Every step you take, every session you complete, every moment you dedicate to improvement reshapes your identity and unlocks latent power. Your body adapts, your mind strengthens, and your presence in life shifts when you consistently choose action over passivity. Transformation is built on repetition, momentum, and patience, not instant results or luck. Recognizing that you are untrained rather than broken is the mental breakthrough that allows effort to flourish. In that recognition, a new path emerges, one of consistent action, restored power, and renewed confidence. You are capable of more than you currently believe because the human body responds magnificently when guided intentionally and consistently. Every untrained moment is a reminder that improvement is necessary, and every trained moment is evidence that change is possible. You are reclaiming what was always yours: capability, vitality, energy, and presence, but you do so through discipline and repeated effort. This is the path of empowerment, acknowledging weakness without surrender, embracing potential without delay, and taking deliberate action each day. The system inside you is responsive, resilient, and adaptable, and it thrives when challenged thoughtfully, practiced consistently, and nurtured intentionally. When you stop thinking of yourself as broken and begin thinking of yourself as untrained, you replace hopelessness with opportunity. You stop fearing limitation and start commanding your own improvement. Energy, confidence, performance, and masculinity rise not from luck or chance, but from repeated effort and focused training. Every session is a building block, every repetition a vote cast in favor of your own strength and capability. You are evolving because you choose to act, and that choice is unstoppable.